Hey folks, this week I will be on the Connected Data conference and we'll try to learn more about the knowledge graphs and all these things. That's why I decided to record my Wednesday philosophy session about the software design today. And last time, on not the last time, but in my previous videos, we talk about what the hell architects is doing, we talk about the models, we talk about the managing complexity. And they even have quite many interesting many article about the architects and the types of the architects. And I don't want to repeat myself, but briefly, that different organizations have a different needs in architecture, and quite often the architecture of the software solutions really mimic the organizational structure. So, and sometimes organizations are too small to have the dedicated architects. Sometimes organizations are so big that they have different structures that takes care about the architecture. And we could not say that we have one type of architects, so we have a lot of them. And I'm not sure if you read the amazing book about the architecture elevator and this communication patterns, the different types of architects, they meet on some level and pass the ideas and all those things, because uh, you could we all think that architects are most skilled technical people, but that's not fully true, because you could have completely different roles and completely different levels. And if we start from the application architect, it's somehow the tech lead on steroids, right? So he knows the technologies, he do the technology selection and all of the things. He drive maybe the architecture of the single application or maybe couple of the applications, and it's quite good. And then we go to the level of the solution architects that cares not about the application, but they care more about the solution. They closer to the business, and maybe you don't need to build something. Maybe you could buy something, integrate something, and all other things. And solution, it's a bit far from the technical, right? Because it's more about how we could solve the business problem. And these people maybe not the best developers in the world. And the far we go, then we will meet the enterprise level architects. And it's not about the Java or JBoss or some horrible things that we all know about the enterprise architecture. It's more about, integrating the solutions with the scale of businesses, companies, and enterprise levels, and maybe B2B collaborations and all those things. And these different types of the architects, they need to collaborate with each other. And for sure, we have some narrow architects. We could even have some architect that responsible for the knowledge graphs and drive the ontology people and all of the things, because we have such complex domains where we could have the domain knowledge experts and all the things. So you see that it's a complex roles that interact with each other. But today I want to talk about a different thing. Today I want to talk about, how to involve people that do not have maybe the direct architecture role, because it's what I describe in my article that depending on the organizational structure and the roles, you could have the two big archetypes. Yeah, so your organization could build the pyramids, and it's more the Asia style. When you move more to the Asia, you will see that people are more hierarchical, and all of the things, and they have the strict structures. And in this pyramid setup, you have the top architect that take all technical decisions, build the plans, and he have some close people to him that drive the implementation of these decisions, and decisions go from top to bottom. And you have a bunch of people that maybe not always understand what part of system they are doing. They just do what they was told. And in some organizations where you don't have some mature developers, maybe some of these top people even do some partially the class design. So it's my personal nightmare, to be honest. I don't like to work in such organizations. Another, uh, you know, archetype of the architects is the cathedrals. So when you build a cathedral, it could be bigger than your entire life. And then you need to pick up the work of your predecessors and continue and collaborate with people. So it's more collaborative model than all other things. It's you continue on the long run with previous ideas, with the new ideas. You involve more the people to the process, and but you still somehow the central point that coordinating the folks and so on. So and the next, it's I do not have good architecture pattern in a real world, but I want to name it somehow the modular buildings. Yeah, that right now with this transformation of the microservices and concrete cognitive domains and domain modeling and all of the things, we build the structures that allow us to decentralize the decision making, right? To make it scalable. And then we have more, uh, you know, collaborative stuff. But collaborative setup was the decentralization, where we shift the decision making from the single person that do the coordination somehow to the teams, and team decide their own processes, their own flows, and how they achieve the goal. And the goal setters, actually, it's not the architects anymore. The goal setters, it's more the business. And one part of this transition, actually, it's the collaborative software design. And collaborative software design mean that you involve your team, all the engineers on early stage of your design, and just involve the brain power and the team thinking to do the design together. And for this, you need to have the common language, and this common language will be the main point that you will be supporting. And we talk about the models before, so you just building some cognitive model of your domain, and the collaborative modeling is challenging for sure, because right now you need to involve a lot of people and you need to do a bit of preparation. So you need to prepare the collaboration modeling session. Yeah, and you need to set the canvas. You need to explain the people the problem, what kind of problem we solving. You need to teach them the domain if they not aware about the domain. So you need to set the stage for the effective collaboration session. You need to teach the people and prepare the people for the session. You need to explain how it will work, what you expect from them, and what kind of thoughts you expect from them, right? And then we have the session itself, and the session itself is on the big screen in a big room. You get all the people together, and you could organize it in completely different ways. And it's have a lot of challenges, and maybe it's even deserved a separate video to explain how to do collaborating design actually, because so the general pattern that uh, we first do the diverging. So we try to generate the different ideas and different scopes. We try to broaden a bit the scope to make sure that we're not missing something and we have some options. And then the next stage, it's converging. Yeah, that we get this option that we discuss, we get the different ways and try to find the the best one, right? And at the end of the session, we need to do the checkout and needs to decide if we achieve our goal. What's the next step? We need to do a bit of the retro on this session, and if it makes sense. And when we make the intro, take the reflections, and all of the things. For sure, we need to have some artifacts like the documentation, the diagrams, and all those things. But during this session, you will have a lot of challenges. People could have conflicts. People could have the different ideas. Maybe your voice is too loud because they still believe that you are the leader and all of the things, and they try to mimic your ideas. And you have a lot of patterns how you could organize the session. Maybe you could split at some point to the smaller groups that try to tackle this diverging in parallel, or try to draw some parallels and give them the chance to work on the different parallels and all of the things. But then at the end, you need to merge them together. Yeah, and we have a lot of patterns, but the good pattern actually that you have some common language like the domain-driven design, right? And in domain-driven design, for example, for the collaboration, we have this amazing tool like event storming that we try to, refine the entities, refine the events between the entities, and all of those things. And by the way, it's a nice to have this collaboration session that involving not only engineers, because if it's non-technical one that we talking about the domains, maybe it's good to invite the domain experts, or maybe it's nice even to invite some UX people that they will understand the concept complexity of the flows, they will understand the structures of the data, because then maybe they could build more effective UI. So the collaboration editing and collaboration modeling actually it's not this pyramid-like approach. It's actually closer to these modular buildings, but you get people together that collaborate and understand the problem better and offer their own solutions. And the main benefit of the collaborative software design that it's you don't need to sell your idea to the team, because somehow you co-create the solution together. And maybe it's expensive to involve in an entire team, but you could have some core uh, designers that open clubs that you invite the different people for the different periods for the different tasks, and they do this work on the daily day-to-day job, and some other people will join and all of things. But the main idea that you turn your team to these thinkers and architects, and maybe in the future you could grow some talents from the engineers that will do the architecture, and you will be not alone in the organization. So it's quite interesting topic of the collaborative software design, and actually I really like the book about the collaborative software design. And I will leave the link to the book in a description, because I still found it quite useful and interesting. So don't be alone, don't work alone, and take care about yourself. Choose.